Hello, everybody. Welcome to our interview here today at Homesick Fest. Hope everyone is enjoying themselves. Today, right now, we're sitting down with TimePigeon, hailing from North Asheville, California. Is that right? No.
I'm in LA, actually. Los Angeles.
LA. Close.
Yeah.
Thank you for being here today, my friend.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
I'm very excited to hear what you have in store when we are actually listening to the show. But for now, people can obviously give your Bandcamp a check, timepigeon.bandcamp.com, and which links to where your latest release is at on Oasis Ltd.
Yeah.
So you can check that out, everyone. Please Hold is the name of the album, and there's still a handful of tapes left if you want to give it a check and grab a copy of that.
Yeah.
So, my friend, let's talk about the album. Oh, whoopsie. Let's talk about the album and maybe how you got started with this project in general, things like that.
Yeah, totally. So, Please Hold is the first album that I've released, and it came about at the beginning of the pandemic. I happened to be on hold with a few different companies at that point, just happenstance. But, I was listening to these hold music things, and I really like liminal spaces as it is already. And, it just kind of struck me with all these pre-recorded messages about COVID, about how much at that point, beginning of the pandemic, my life was on hold, and I felt like everybody's life, at least in those beginning points. And for a lot of us, pretty much a year, it was just a waiting period almost. And I thought that taking those recordings almost made a really interesting time capsule and, made it my own as well, as far as, inserting myself in my own holding phase, if you will.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome, man. Very, very cool way of looking and redirecting the whole pandemic, giving it a new lens almost.
Yeah.
Oh, I see it got a reissue.
Yeah. So there's just a few copies left of the second edition. Grab them if they're still available.
Yes, when you're hearing this, of course. That's awesome, man. I remember checking it out when it came out.
Oh, rad.
Yeah,
Love to hear that
gotta
always.
support Oasis,
Yeah, they do a great job. They're great to work with. I love them.
Yeah, for sure, man. For Oasis is hailing out of Asheville, North
That's
Carolina.
the one. Yep.
Sorry, I was looking at the wrong page. So how is LA these days?
It's doing better, as far as pandemic is concerned. And yeah, it's doing a lot better than it was.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, up in Canada, and maybe some of our listeners don't know exactly, right? I'm in Toronto, so they only give us certain tidbits, certain little bits of info.
They're not letting you guys know
actually.
everything. All right.
Not actually, man. There's just so much news. I'm not keeping up with every state.
Yeah, dedefinitely.
Sometimes I talk to Groovy Kaiju, actually, also featured on this event.
That's right.
And he'll give me the lowdown. Yeah. Also, check out Groovy Kaiju, and if you haven't heard his set, I don't know which order things are happening in for the event, but stay tuned for Groovy, as well as TimePigeon, of course. So, how exactly did you get into music, and then electronic music, and of course making it yourself?
Yeah, music's just kind of always been a big part of my life. My dad's a musician, so he always really encouraged that from a young age. So I've been playing instruments in particular since I was very young. But specifically, getting into electronic music, I didn't really get into it until probably high school. And I don't know what age everyone is, and I don't know if this is going to make me sound old, but if anyone's ever listened to Rat-a-Tat back in like
Oh, dude,
2008? I think
amazing.
that's the band that like
LP3, baby, for life.
yeah.
I love
Yeah,
Rat Tat Tat.
yeah.
So good. I've
So
got some other vinyl too.
really? Yeah, sick. So I
Yeah.
feel like that sound was like the first thing that kind of was a good bridge from like the indie rock type of stuff I was into and into like electronic more forward stuff. And then
Hmm.
obviously, kind of fell into Daft Punk, RIP, and just been looking at more experimental and just fell in love with it ever since.
Nice, man.
Yeah.
And you just picked up a DAW one day and had at it, I guess.
And then as far as a DAW, actually, well, so I was in and out of like a few minor bands, in high school and middle school. But as far as a DAW, my friend got me a copy of Ableton, totally legally, 100% legally at the time.
Right. Okay. That's what we all say.
Yeah, 100%.
Can't
Um,
trust anyone.
yeah, and he died. I thought it was amazing. And yeah, I just started messing around with it and been working with it ever since.
Cool, cool. And that was uh for this Time Pigeon album? Because if so, whew, you learned it quite fast.
Well, honestly, I've been recording and making music for wow, probably over 10 years now, but
Okay.
I've never released anything. This is the first thing that I've ever actually
That
put out there.
sounds like somebody I know. Myself. Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't
Well,
know.
good for you, man. That's awesome
Yeah,
getting it out.
yeah,
And it's so well received, and you went with a great label.
yeah.
Um, yeah, check it out, fam. Timepigeon.bandcamp.com. Very cool. So, how did you like find the vapor community exactly?
Honestly, I feel like I'm still finding it. I mean,
Aren't
uh,
we all?
yeah, aren't we all? We're all just all looking for the community. No, but seriously, I am very bad at social media. I didn't have a Twitter until past few months. I think that I stumbled on like Floral Shop in like 2012 or 2013. At that time, I was sporadically going on Reddit, and the Vaporwave subreddit was somewhat active, and I somehow found that. But I quickly stopped using Reddit after that, and I'm not good at social media, and so I am the most in the community right now that I've ever been in, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm finding so many artists that everyone else is like, yeah, you don't know about them, so
Yeah, you gotta
I'm
check out
I'm
this album and this
yeah,
album from
yeah,
this label.
yeah, exactly.
Well, it's a great place to be in, man. It's the world's your oyster, basically.
Yeah, yeah, I'm loving it.
That's awesome. Well, welcome. Glad to have you here, of course. And I want to know, what are you listening to these days?
Yeah, today, I mean, I was just listening to like some Windows 96. Ever since
Ooh, yeah.
LVP's passing, I've been playing a lot of that on repeat.
Hmm.
Outside of the community, though, a lot of like British grime, like Gets and Skepta, or if you want like
Mm,
an instrumental album, Rough Squad's. I think it's called White Label Classics. That's really awesome. And
nice.
then on totally other end of the spectrum, a lot of yacht rock,
Oh,
like Kenny
sick.
Loggins and Michael McDonald.
Yeah, yeah.
So everybody look out for my next album because it's gonna be wild.
Sick. Oh man. Yeah, we love yacht rock here at. Oh no, we're at Homesick today. In the Homesicks. Fucking. There's a theater in Utopia District, and that's where we'll host the event for Homesick in my mind.
Okay, all right.
Um, so that's usually what I'm doing podcasts for.
Yeah, yeah.
So, what are your plans for the project over the next 6 months?
Yeah, well, so I'm actually working on a new album right now that I So actually, Please Hold, I started at the beginning of the pandemic. This other album I started probably in December, which the area that I live in, it was definitely the worst time as far as the pandemic. I do not live close to any of my family. Hadn't seen them since pre-pandemic, so the holidays were coming up, all those fun things, and I hadn't seen them in a long time. But I had just digitized a bunch of old VHS tapes, like family home videos
Nice.
from the 90s. And I just kind of started going through those and pulling out little sound bites, whether that be like somebody saying something. I think I mentioned my dad was a musician, so like maybe he was playing guitar or just like some auditory glitches on on a VHS tape, and I've kind of been working those into an album kind of as a way during that period to, be with your family when you couldn't necessarily be with your family. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, I'm liking how it's turning out. Actually, my set is going to be half the songs are not released yet, and they're actually from that upcoming album.
Oh, awesome, man.
Yeah.
Exclusive songs at the set for Homesick. Very cool. Very cool.
Hmm.
Well, that's cool to hear, man. We'll definitely keep an eye. We'll follow you on Twitter as well. Everyone, don't forget to do that. Twitter.com slash TimePigeon _. Don't forget the underscore, folks.
Got to get that underscore.
Okay, one last question before we let you go. What do you love most about Vaporwave and the adjacent communities? And of course, any shout outs if you want to give any?
Yeah, I mean, the community, as I said, I feel like I'm just now becoming a part of, but it's just been welcoming and so creative. Nothing is off the table as far as just the sounds and the ideas behind everything. I really love that. And just as far as shout outs, just the community as a whole. Again, I said this is the first thing that I've released, and the reception has been amazing. And when you've been making music for a long time and you finally put something out there and it has this kind of reception, it really means a lot. So if you bought the album, or even if you just listened to it or anything like that, or just watching this fest, it means a lot to me, and I really appreciate it.
Awesome, man. Great soundbite. Well said. Well, dude, thank you so much. I'd love to talk to you again sometime, but for now, we'll leave it at that and we'll enjoy some more music here.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Anytime, bro. We'll talk to you soon. Cheers.